From a player snorting a white line to Ronaldo mocking Barcelona, these are the most disrespectful celebrations in football history. And first, the time Lingard turned the Emirates into his dance floor.
He's rolled it through here for Martial. There goes Jesse Lingard, 2-0 United. Chaotic and overly generous from Arsenal, and in particular, Scotland Mustafi.
Doing this in your rival stadium is genuinely asking for trouble. Fair play to Arsenal fans for not overreacting, but the guy at number 29 waited 3 years just to celebrate disrespectfully. Back in 2023, Chelsea's Robert Sanchez mocked Raul Jimenez's aura farming just to catch a simple ball. But while everyone laughed at Sanchez's antics, Jimenez took things personally.
Getting on with it in these final first half seconds. That was awkward for Thiago Silva, and a ricochet in that box now. That could easily have gone the other
3 years later, Fulham plays Chelsea. Jimenez scores a header. And you know what this man does? Runs to the corner and does the exact same dramatic dive, mocking Sanchez from 3 years ago.
Filled in for Raul Jimenez. Not seeing that one getting chalked off. Fulham's early second half pressure.
He remembered. For 3 whole years, he remembered. That's some supervillain level grudge holding. But wait till you see the African dance that went horribly wrong. Douglas Luiz scores an important equalizer for Aston Villa against United. But instead of just celebrating like a normal human being, he decides this is the perfect time to do the jiggy jiggy dance.
Omley who turned it goalwards, and it's cleared off the line. Then Bailey back in and turned in. Pressure pays off. Douglas Luiz slides in Holt End celebration.
Then United scored again and won that match.
Swung in dangerously. What a header. Scott McTominay, the man we were...
Suddenly, the jiggy jiggy dance doesn't look so smart anymore, prompting Garnacho to mock it in training. But while this was all fun and games, what comes next is absolutely mental. March 1999, it's the Merseyside Derby, and Everton fans have been spreading these completely made-up rumors that Robbie Fowler is on drugs. So Liverpool get a penalty, Fowler scores 1-0, and instead of just running away celebrating, he runs toward the Everton fans, drops to his knees, and pretends to snort the goal line.
For Liverpool, and it's very well taken.
Like actually miming snorting off the white line on national television.
Are you serious right now, bro?
Are you serious right now?
The stadium went absolutely insane. Everton fans lost it. Liverpool fans didn't know if they should laugh or hide. Teammates tried to drag him away, but he stayed down there to make sure everyone got the message. He got a yellow card, was fined by the FA, got condemned, and he did not care even slightly. But somehow, that's not even the weirdest celebration because this next guy hugged a goat on live TV. Anthony Uja scores for FC Köln. Should be a normal celebration, except that standing on the sidelines is Köln's mascot, an actual live goat named Hennis. Uja looks at his teammates, looks at the fans, looks at this goat just minding its own business, and something breaks in his brain. He sprints full speed at this goat, grabs it around the horns, and starts celebrating with it like they're long-lost brothers. Not a little pat, a full embrace during a professional match, while thousands of people watch. The backlash was so bad that he had to write an actual apology for being too affectionate with the GOAT. That's a real sentence that exists in football history. But okay, all of that is just chaos, right? From here, it gets personal. We're talking celebrations that started wars between players, revenge plots that took months to execute, and moments that literally changed rivalries forever. And it all starts with the shirt celebration that broke the Bernabeu. April 2017, the Bernabeu, Barcelona versus Real Madrid, title on the line. 90 minutes of absolute war. tackles everywhere, blood boiling, and it's 2-2 going into stoppage time.
La frontal Marcelo. Marcelo puede poner el centro, lo hace buscando a Sergio Ramos. Al palo Casemiro. ¡Gol!
Iniciativa, el que ha tenido la posesión del balón, el que ha tenido las ocasiones y un fútbol de Barcelona que no ha sido capaz.
Atención, Leo Messi, Leo Messi, Leo Messi, 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 Messi. ¡Gol!
Barcelona gets one last attack, and Messi's got the ball right outside the box. Jordi Alba plays it in, lands perfectly for Messi, who's somehow unmarked, and he just curls it past Navas to make it 3-2.
Sergio Roberto. Última ocasión para el Barça. Peligro, Sergio Roberto. Para 3. Con mucha gente el Barça entrega a Sergio Roberto para André Gómez. André Gómez ante Carvajal. André Gómez la mete para Jordi Alba. El centro no ha llegado. Messi, 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 Messi. Gol. Gol.
And Messi does something no Barcelona player has ever done there. He takes off his shirt, walks to the corner, and holds it up with both hands, facing 80,000 Real Madrid fans, while the entire stadium is having a collective meltdown. That wasn't a celebration, that was a declaration of ownership. And Cristiano Ronaldo was watching this, taking very detailed notes. 4 months later at the Camp Nou, they lock horns in the Spanish Super Cup. This is the first time these teams have met since that celebration. Madrid scored first.
Qué manera de manejar el balón. Ahí la esconde, el pase para Marcelo, el centro de Marcelo, y acaba de marcar Piqué en propia puerta, abriendo el marcador en esta Supercopa de España.
Barcelona equalizes 1-1.
Cómo se cuela de nuevo el 10 del Barça, dentro del área, vuelve a pegarle al argentino, se encuentra Suárez con Lingard, se va al suelo el uruguayo y dice el árbitro que penalti. Leo Messi, carrilla el argentino, le pega con la izquierda, gol.
The Camp Nou is buzzing, thinking they're about to take over. Then, Madrid wins the ball back and counters. Ronaldo gets it near halfway. Piqué's facing him desperately, and Ronaldo just blows past him and thunders the ball into the top corner.
Cristiano contra Gerard Piqué, frontal del área, busca el hueco para el disparo. ¡Qué golazo acaba de marcar!
Ronaldo rips his shirt off, celebrates with his team, then turns to the Barcelona fans and does the exact same thing Messi did. Holds up his shirt, same pose, same energy. And Barcelona fans have to sit there and watch him mock their hero's moment in their own stadium. 4 months he waited for that. Perfect goal, perfect revenge, maximum pettiness. Beautiful. But listen, shirt celebrations are one thing. This next guy literally tried to start a civil war. In a cagey match in the Brazilian league, this player scores a penalty in stoppage time to win it. But instead of just celebrating with his team like a reasonable person, he runs straight toward the away fans and starts doing provocative gestures right in their faces. Within seconds, bottles are flying through the air, coins everywhere. Fans are breaking through the barriers trying to get onto the pitch. Riot police rushing in with batons out, and these fans genuinely want to end him. And suddenly, this guy realizes he's made a catastrophic mistake and just sprints away like he's in a horror movie. Started a near riot and then ran for his life. Peak football intelligence right there. But okay, at least that was a heat-of-the-moment stupidity. What Kai Havertz does next is just cold. In 2021, Kai Havertz scored the winning goal in the Champions League final for Chelsea and wrote his name in history forever.
Havertz is through here. He's round Henderson and he must score. He has scored. Kai Havertz, Champions League hero. Immortality back as Chelsea Football Club champions of Europe. It's happened. It's real against the odds. Those young guns 2021 are the kings of the continent. The cup belongs to Chelsea.
Then he goes and signs for Arsenal, their biggest rivals. Chelsea fans obviously think he's Judas now.
To be honest, right now I give on that.
And every time they see him, it's just constant abuse. Havertz stays quiet, takes it all in, doesn't say a word, but he's waiting. The 2026 Carabao Cup semi-final second leg comes around. Havertz scores the goal that knocks Chelsea out, and he points directly at the Arsenal badge in front of all the Chelsea fans who've been screaming at him.
And it's going to fall for Kai Havertz against his former club. Havertz for Wembley. Returned and relentless. Havertz in the...
That's not just scoring against your old club. That's psychological warfare. And speaking of warfare, Jamie Vardy had a flag situation that melted the internet. After scoring the winner for Leicester against Sheffield United, Jamie Vardy rushed to the corner flag and did this.
Oh, but Fleck's giving it away, and now Leicester City put it through the middle. Jamie Vardy one-on-one with the keeper, and he finishes, and just like that, Leicester City pounce, and Leicester City will take all 3 points away from Bramall Lane. It's a cruel one on Sheffield United, who battled away, but Jamie Vardy gets his...
Should be normal, right? Except what was on that flag triggered such an insane meltdown on social media that it dominated football Twitter for days. But even trending on Twitter wasn't good enough to make our top 20. That's because these next celebrations get genuinely personal. I'm talking about managers getting injured, players celebrating before they've even scored, and trophy reminders that hurt more than any tackle ever could. Starting with Jurgen Klopp's hamstring of karma. It's Liverpool versus Tottenham in the Premier League, and Klopp's been angry at the referee all match. But in a shocking twist of fate, Liverpool score a last-minute winner, and he's so pumped up, he runs straight at the fourth official to celebrate in his face.
I think that tells you they've rescued them.
And that's when he pulls his hamstring mid-celebration. Just stops, grabs his leg, and has to limp away while the fourth official just stands there watching him suffer.
Fair punishment for behaving not in the right way. I have pain for a few days, Mr. Tierney not. That's it.
But at least Klopp finished celebrating before he got hurt. Ross Barkley celebrated before he even scored. Everton versus Bournemouth. Ross Barkley gets the ball one-on-one with the keeper, dribbles past him into the box, and starts celebrating while the ball is still at his feet. His arms out, smiling, already wheeling away before he's even tapped it into the empty net. If he'd missed that, it would have been the single most embarrassing moment in football history, and he would never have emotionally recovered. But he scores so suddenly, it looks like genius. But confidence is one thing. What Vardy did to Tottenham fans was just cruel. First day of the 2024-25 season, Leicester versus Tottenham. Spurs are winning through Pedro Porro.
Son, James Maddison collects with options in the middle, and there's the flick, and there's the goal.
Vardy comes on at halftime, causes chaos, and eventually scores to make it 1-1. Spurs fans start booing him really loudly. And you know what Vardy does? He points at the Premier League badge on his shirt to say, "I've got one of these. You've got 0 in your entire history."
Across from away from Reed. Tawu.
Well, one chance, one goal for the legend of Leicester. They've been under the cop.
Decades of Tottenham pain in one finger. Absolutely savage. This reminds me of what Watkins did to Brentford. Brentford gave Ollie Watkins everything. 3 years of support, a platform to shine. But he leaves for Aston Villa, mostly respectful, and comes back to Brentford expecting at least some applause. Instead, the Brentford fans just absolutely destroy him with insults throughout the match. The game's heading for a draw. Watkins scores in stoppage time to win it for Villa and puts his fingers to his lips, shushing the entire stadium. You wanted to talk? Now be quiet.
They go for the win. Little flick onto the far post and it's in. And Ollie Watkins scores against his former club. And Villa have the lead. And the goal-mouth celebrations didn't help calm things down. And Konza's in there.
This is similar to the time a goalkeeper messed with Haaland. It's the Champions League, Sevilla versus Dortmund, and Sevilla keeper Bono is convinced Haaland dived for this penalty.
Easy takeover on Fernando. If it was a merest of... But they had a long look at the penalty situation. It's a yellow card for Koundé.
Haaland takes it, misses, and Bono celebrates right in his face. Then VAR goes, actually encroachment, retake that. Haaland places the ball down again, same keeper, and this time buries it before running straight to Bono to give him back everything he just got. The timing was so bad, but at least Bono didn't tell Haaland his plan. This next keeper literally announced where he was diving. Oxford versus Peterborough, penalty kick, and the keeper, Ben Alnwick, is moving on his line, pointing to his right like, "I'm diving here, mate, just so you know," trying to do some reverse psychology mind game thing. Chris Maguire just looks at him, looks where he's pointing, and smashes it to the other way with so much power that the keeper had no chance, then goes ahead to mock him. That's just embarrassing, to be honest. But what Messi did to a national team coach shouldn't have been shown on TV. World Cup 2022 quarterfinals, Netherlands versus Argentina. And before the match, the Dutch coach calls Messi lazy in a press conference.
Messi is the most dangerous, creative player. He can create a lot and score goals himself. But when they lose the ball, he doesn't participate much. This gives us chances. But when they lose the ball, he doesn't participate much.
During the game, Messi scores a penalty, and instead of celebrating with his team, runs directly to the Dutch bench and does this. Then, after the final whistle, he goes back to give him more.
Van Gaal saying we got an advantage in penalties. If we go to penalties, we win. I think he needs to keep his mouth shut.
Calling Messi lazy before a World Cup knockout match is genuinely one of the worst decisions possible. But even that couldn't match what Emi Martinez did on the biggest stage. World Cup Final 2022, Argentina versus France. Martinez makes the save in the dying seconds that wins Argentina the trophy. He gets called up to receive the Golden Glove Award for Best Keeper of the tournament, and instead of just lifting it normally like every other human in history, he holds it in front of his crotch in the most inappropriate gesture possible. Right in front of all the French players. Made himself the most hated man in France instantly, which set up the perfect revenge scenario. A few months later, Martinez is playing for Aston Villa against the French team Lille in the Conference League. The match goes to penalties, and Martinez's goal is right in front of the Lille fans, who absolutely have not forgotten and are booing him. Last kick of the shootout, Martinez saves it and immediately turns to celebrate directly in front of these fans who've been abusing him.
Makes the save that he had to make. Andre has to score and he hasn't. Emi Martinez foils France once again.
You tried to mess with me? I saved it anyway. Now watch me celebrate. But what Ronaldo did in Saudi Arabia is embarrassing. During a Saudi Pro League match between Al-Shabaab and Al-Nasser, the Al-Shabaab fans kept shouting Messi's name each time Ronaldo touched the ball. So after scoring to help his team win, he shut the Messi fans up by doing this. However, he got a one-match suspension and a $5,000 fine. But now that we've made it to our top 10, we're taking things to a whole new level. I'm talking about rivalries defined, beef that lasted seasons, and revenge served on the biggest stages in world football. Starting with Mbappe crossing the line you never cross in France. PSG versus Marseille, the most heated rivalry in French football. The fans genuinely hate each other. PSG are dominating. Mbappe scores to make it 3-0 and does the crying gesture right in front of the Marseille fans.
Et sur le banc ce soir, des problèmes de riches s'annoncent pour Thomas Tuchel. Le PSG va ensuite inscrire un troisième but à la 32e par l'intermédiaire de Kylian Mbappé, passe décisive de Di Maria.
That gesture in that rivalry is basically a declaration of war. But even French warfare couldn't match the beef that lasted an entire season. In a match between Tottenham and Brentford, Neal Maupay scores and then does James Maddison's celebration, mocking him in front of Spurs fans.
The goal was disallowed. Brentford do get one this time.
But when Spurs equalize, they do the exact same celebration back.
He's got three arriving. It's Werner! It's in!
Then they scored again and do it. Then they scored a third and do it again. Every Spurs goal came with Maddison's celebration thrown back at Maupay. After the match, Maddison says he hasn't scored enough goals to have his own celebration.
What did you say to Neal Maupay? What was going on in that conversation? James, tell us.
I just said to him he probably hasn't scored enough goals of his own over the last few years to have his own celebration, so he probably had to copy mine.
Maupay fires back on Twitter. More goals and fewer relegations than you. Then, when Maddison doesn't make the England Euro squad, Maupay posts about it again. This went on for an entire season, with neither one letting it go, but at least it was just Twitter beef. This next one happened in real time in front of thousands of fans. Having lost the first leg 2-0, Sweden needed a miracle to advance to the second leg of their Euro 2015 qualifier. As the game began, Sweden rushed into a 3-0 lead, and suddenly, that miracle looked like reality. But with 3 minutes left to play, Francis Kurzawa scored an away goal, killing any hopes of a comeback. He then rushed to celebrate in front of the Swedish players with an aggressive salute. However, the scriptwriters weren't done yet. Sweden scored their fourth goal, and the boys just had to pay Kurzawa back. You can't even feel bad for the guy. He absolutely asked for it. But at least Kurzawa wasn't facing Jose Mourinho.
Jose Mourinho shakes hands with Max Allegri.
After winning the first leg of their group stage match against Man United, Juventus welcomed the Red Devils to their stadium, hoping to complete the double. That looked like the case when Cristiano Ronaldo fired Juventus into the lead.
Bonucci looking for Ronaldo's run. That's some ball! Oh, what about that? What about that from Cristiano Ronaldo? Brilliant ball from Leonardo Bonucci, and his first Champions League.
However, a goal from Mata and an own goal late into the game ensured Man United completed the comeback.
Fellaini's attacking this one. It's gone all the way through and it's gone in.
So when the referee blew the final whistle, Jose Mourinho did this.
Celebrate. Jose Mourinho shakes hands with Max Allegri.
When asked why he cupped his ears, this was his response.
Le quería preguntar si no le parece una falta de respeto ese gesto después del partido ante la Juventus.
¿Es usted española?
Sí.
Por eso no entiendes italiano.
Sí, lo entiendo.
¿Entiendes?
Sí, sé muy
Si sabes la primera mano.
Italiano.
Okay, we can maybe now speak in English.
No, listo quiere.
No, I'm asking if for you it was an offense or not, so the kind of sign that you made. Well, you remember what they did to me, but this sign that I made is actually not an offense. So this is something, right, something more. I just wanted to hear them make comments.
But even Mourinho's pettiness couldn't touch the most iconic dive celebrations ever. Before the 2012 Merseyside derby, Everton's manager, David Moyes, accused Luis Suarez of diving to get their player sent off. Suarez walks into that match with a point to prove. 14 minutes in, he scores and runs straight to the corner to throw himself into the most theatrical dive celebration ever.
Pulled it across. Sterling went down, but it's fallen to Suarez anyway. And Luis Suarez strikes as Liverpool hit first in the Merseyside derby.
After the match, Moyes says,
"What do you make of the Luis Suarez celebration, Chris?"
I thought it was great. I actually quite like that.
Fair play to Moyes for taking it well, because that was brutal. But we've hit the top 5 now, and these aren't just disrespectful anymore. These are moments that became international incidents, sparked genuine controversies, and in one case, put an actual child's safety at risk, starting with a player who mocked his own manager on live TV. In 2014, Jose Mourinho accused Samuel Eto'o of being older than 32.
Il est mieux qu'au début, en tout cas. Non?
32 ans, peut-être 35, je ne sais pas.
A few days later, Samuel Eto'o scored Chelsea's opener against Tottenham and celebrated like this. But that's internal club stuff. What the Arsenal boys did next was personal revenge. During a heated match between Man City and Arsenal, a red card at the end of the first half forced Arsenal to defend their lead. Despite all of their efforts, John Stones scored a stoppage time goal to equalize. During the celebrations, Haaland picked up the ball and hit Gabriel on the back of the head, and VAR didn't even check the incident. To further aggravate things, Haaland told Arsenal's coach to stay humble, a statement the players didn't like. So when it was time for the second leg of the game, Gabriel was on a mission. So when Arsenal scored the opening goal, he did this.
Given away, Havertz is in. Kai Havertz and Odegaard. Arsenal have an early goal, and it's the captain who scores.
We've seen that before.
Kanji messes up, and Arsenal go right. Lewis Skelly took it in his stride well and shoots. They score a goal. It's Lewis Skelly's first goal for Arsenal, and they lead 3-1. Oh my God!
Waited months for that moment. But even calculated revenge couldn't match what happened next. When Portugal came up against Morocco in the 2022 World Cup quarterfinal, Cristiano Ronaldo and his teammates were confident of making it to the semis. However, Morocco knocked out Portugal to become the first African country to reach a World Cup semi-final. Angry and devastated by this failure, Ronaldo couldn't control his emotions. Still, such a heartbreaking scene became the subject of mockery for Morocco and Messi fans.
I want to ask, where is Ronaldo? Where is Cristiano? Where is Cristiano? Where is Ronaldo? Where is Ronaldo? Ronaldo lost. Where is he? The airport.
But this was what triggered millions of Ronaldo fans. Angered by that disrespect towards CR7, his fans hurled all sorts of insults at her. Some of the comments were so brutal that reading them felt like a crime. Celebration turned into a child safety crisis, showing how dangerously out of control football passion gets. But what Adebayor did was pure provocation. In 2009, Emmanuel Adebayor left Arsenal to sign for Man City in controversial circumstances. The fans felt he betrayed the club for money, so when he and his City teammates visited the Arsenal stadium, the fans kept on hurling insults at the striker. The experience left a bitter taste in Adebayor's mouth, so when he rose highest to score a header against Arsenal in the second leg, he just had to give the fans a taste of their own medicine.
To of Manchester City. An Emmanuel Adebayor goal against Arsenal. And he sets off to celebrate like never before.
However, he was handed a 2-match ban and a fine of £20,000 for his celebration.
I think it's quite disgraceful. I mean, running over to the away fans.
You got your goal, you continued your 100% scoring record. Did you lose your head a bit afterwards?
I could not do what I have done. But you know, it's like the emotional take over me. The frustration is out of me. You know, I'm very sorry for doing what I have done. I have done a big mistake today, and I think tomorrow this thing will never happen anymore.
But at number 1, Cristiano Ronaldo took celebrations to an extreme level. The build-up to the match between Atletico Madrid and Juventus was personal because of one thing. Juventus was being led by Cristiano Ronaldo, a former Madrid player who had been a thorn in the flesh of Atleti. But when Atleti took a 2-0 lead, their coach got overexcited and celebrated like this.
Jimenez through the crowd. Now do have it. Put to the floor. Griezmann in it, got a flick. Oh, and it's turned in by Godin. Slammed in, and Atletico now do have their lead.
Ronaldo knew he couldn't let such disrespect slide, so he and his boys started planning revenge. 26 minutes into the second leg, Ronaldo scored an insane header to give Juve the lead, and suddenly, the comeback was on.
In from Bernardeschi. Ronaldo! Doing what Ronaldo does!
2 minutes into the second half, he scored again to draw Juve level on aggregate. And then, in the 85th minute, he scored a penalty to complete the comeback.
And put Juve in front. Is it ever in doubt? The man of the moment, yet again, with another...
So when the referee blew the final whistle, Ronaldo just had to respond to the Atleti coach. A hat-trick, one comeback, a celebration nobody will ever forget. That's why it's number 1. But as disrespectful as all that was, it's nothing compared to what happens when these same players step up to take penalties. I'm talking about a player missing 2 penalties in the same match. And remember Emi Martinez? His penalty antics are genuinely psychological warfare. Click the next video to watch the most humiliating penalty kicks in football history.